Well, let's stay with Hungary and particularly look at the relationship with France. I can welcome our French politics editor to the studio. Marc, good to have you with us. Orban then losing. Walk us through whether you think that is bad news for France's far-right party.
It is obviously bad news for the National Rally. Why? Because they have been very tightly knit with Viktor Orban, not only ideologically, but even personally, and even to a certain extent financially. Why is that? Marine Le Pen has always said, and Viktor Orban as well, that they were very close ideologically. They supported each other, especially on the issue of immigration. Viktor Orban spoke the language Marine Le Pen spoke, saying, we need to stop immigrants, Europe needs to stay Christian, and so on. So very harsh words from the Hungarian Prime Minister, which were seen as a boon by Marine Le Pen. As I said, Marine Le Pen, in the last part of the campaign, paid a visit, among other hard-right or far-right leaders, to Budapest to support Viktor Orban. She was there on March the 23rd. Why is that? Because, as I said, Viktor Orban, in some important instances, was behind Marine Le Pen. When she was condemned here in France, which is now maybe preventing her from running in the next presidential election, she heard very strong words of support from Viktor Orban. Back in the 2022 presidential election campaign, the National Rally was in dire straits, and they got a loan, a 10 million euro loan, from an important Hungarian bank with allegedly close ties to Viktor Orban. So clearly, this goes back a long way, and this is not good news for the National Rally. Marine Le Pen, instead of saying it was bad news, obviously said she found it absolutely unacceptable that the head of the EU Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, hailed yesterday's result as a victory for Europe. She said this is none of her business. And she said, we should admire the fact that Viktor Orban conceded defeat graciously and was not the dictator that everyone portrayed him to be. Jordan Bardella, who could be the one running instead of Marine Le Pen, saluted a great patriot, but obviously this is not good news for the National Rally, especially because also at the European level and the European Parliament, the National Rally and the Fidesz party were working together in another group. So clearly this is a setback for the National Rally because of the very close relationship they had with Viktor Orban.
So clearly unwelcome news
yes.
For the National Rally, as you say. If we broaden the picture, by that logic, if, this news in Hungary is bad news for France, what would it mean for Trump and the 2027 election? Is that likely to have a ripple effect here once again for France's far-right party?
Well, if you look at what happened in Hungary, we just talked at length about the ties between the National Rally and Viktor Orban. What about the ties between the Trump administration and Viktor Orban? How many times have we heard compliments from Donald Trump and his team about Viktor Orban, how friendly they were? And one of the last visitors to Budapest was the vice president, J.D. Vance. And so people are saying, well, this could be the kiss of death for some parties in Europe. Let's also remember that Giorgia Meloni lost an important referendum recently, and that Geert Wilders in the Netherlands also had a setback. Those were also seen by the Trump administration as close allies. And this is why you're now seeing the National Rally, already before what happened in Hungary, take some distance with the Trump administration. They did not celebrate Trump going to war with Iran. They realized it might be a problem. Trump has not been as close to Marine Le Pen, or has not said as many things as he said to Orban or Meloni, for instance. But obviously, there have been interactions, but the National Rally probably feels that they need to take some distance. And since yesterday, their spokesperson, or the ones who went on the morning radio show, saying, we're nationalists, first and foremost. We care about the interest of our nation, and so there shouldn't be any foreign influence or foreign meddling into our electoral process. So clearly, they're seeing the proximity of the Trump administration as something that could hurt them in the end, especially as the polls are showing, because Trump's policies, especially his foreign policy initiatives, are not popular here among the French people. So this is why you're probably going to see the National Rally keep some distance with the Trump administration. It may not please Donald Trump, but it might help them electorally.
It might help them avoid the kiss of death, as you say there. Marc, our French politics editor, thanks very much.